Aye, shepherd's pie. Greetings from the Philippines. Welcome back to the channel for another interview. We all love a good interview. I'm sitting down here with my good friend Don, who I have known for a while. Probably coming up to a year now, if I think about it. But I don't know a lot about Don, other than the fact he's into his music, and he comes from New Zealand. So this will be interesting to find out a little bit about his life. So first of all, Don, thank you very much for sitting down with us today. It's much appreciated.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Don. Where did it all begin?
Well, firstly, thank you for inviting me to do this, and it's interesting that you'd find this interesting. So, yeah, let's see where we go. Myself, starting from the beginning?
From the beginning.
From the beginning, okay. Born in Penang, Malaysia, strangely enough.
Did not know that.
And my parents were in Malaysia for 36 years, so I travelled back and forward to New Zealand doing my schooling in New Zealand.
So your parents were Kiwis?
They're both Kiwis, yeah. But they spent, the bulk of their life in a place called Butterworth in Malaysia. But Penang Island is just across from Butterworth.
Why were they in Malaysia?
Dad was a metallurgist who is a guy that understands and knows a lot about metal, funnily enough. So he ended up with a job in a tin smelting dredging company, and he ended up running the whole thing. So until sort of the political arena changed in Malaysia, and then they really had to leave because all the expats were leaving Malaysia anyway at that time, and the Malays were kicking all the Chinese out of the high jobs and taking them themselves and doing that. So it was a slightly turbulent time to leave. That was in the 1981.
So how old were you when you left Malaysia?
I was 8. When I went to school in New Zealand, and then flew back every year, once a year. Did university in New Zealand, flew back twice a year because the holidays are longer.
So were you in like a boarding school kind of situation?
Correct. Yeah.
How was that?
For some, not good. For me, it was fine. It was very difficult to start with because as an 8-year-old who's pretty much had everything done for him in his life, because we had people that looked after us in Malaysia. And then having to do it all myself was a bit of a shock, but then that's good for you. So it taught me independence. It taught me to learn a lot of things that perhaps other guys don't learn if their mothers and fathers do it for them all the time. I don't know.
Made a man of you.
Hopefully. It's a bit late now anyway.
So what did you do at university?
I studied ancient history and sociology. I have a BA in ancient history and sociology, which is about as useful as tits on a bull. But, so I can lecture, I can dig up dead people, I can, but that's about it, teach. And of course, I've never really used it as such.
Not many people use
other than what it taught me in the background. Maybe there's some stuff I know that was useful.
It taught critical thinking.
As in all school subjects. We only learn them, maybe they'll be useful, other than English, arithmetic, and yeah.
So what did you do when you left university?
When I left university, I was lost as to what to do. I kind of, like I guess many people of my era, came through education without really knowing at the end of it what the heck was going to go on. I wanted to be a PE teacher. I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be all the things that you want to be, Ended up actually in a rock band for 16 years. Did other things while I was in that rock band.
Let's slow down a second. It's like, so that wasn't a hobby. I know you did music, you still play, but it was a professional band. That was your...
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, what were they called?
That was my income for quite some time. While I was doing that, I was also a radio announcer in the morning, playing at night. So a couple of incomes there, which helped at the time.
What was the band called?
Which one? There were many.
So for 16 years, you basically you changed bands?
Four, maybe 5 bands, different names.
That's good. You're making a living out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
We could then. You can't now. Back then, of course, probably much like England, I don't know, or all countries, there were big venues that bands played in and lots of people went there. Now it's more a matter of DJs and duos, because the pubs can't afford to pay you, you know.
Still streaming and downloading.
Streaming and downloads, yeah, and playing music that people can dance to other than what we want to play.
And you were a drummer?
I was in one. I was the lead singer in another, and I was a percussionist in another. So I kind of moved around.
Percussionist? What kind of band was that?
It played a lot of Steely Dan and Joe Jackson, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it required a little bit of percussion.
I mean, I'm not going to pry too much into your finances or something, but you know, like when you're in a band, do you think about things like private pensions and all that kind of stuff you get when you're kind of self-employed? Was that something you just think about the music?
No, because you're having so much fun anyway. Well, you're supposed to be having so much fun. It's like, I'll worry about that later. You know, I'm too young for that rubbish. Yeah. One day I'll get a real job. Well, I was a radio announcer as well, and I actually did some building. I was a builder, helped a builder, became a builder's hand, I guess you call it, for a couple of years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you say a radio announcer, what do you mean by an announcer? I mean, you weren't a DJ, is that just what you call it?
I was a DJ, yeah. And in those days you talked. You know, you had to think of intelligent stuff to talk about, otherwise, you know, blah, blah, blah.
I forgot you were so old, you probably wanted Dickie Bow and all that.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. We won't mention my age, thank you. Yeah.
So you enjoyed those 16 years, you must have done.
Yeah, I did. There were times when you don't. You know, there's times when you argue and you fight with the guys in the band and you hate each other and blah, 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 blah.
That was going to be was really nasty.
Yeah. No, well, actually, I was fired from one band, but because I was fired from one band, because they all thought they were such good musicians and I wasn't good enough, which is fine, I ended up playing with some people that I would have never had the chance to if I didn't, and they were much better musicians than these guys anyway. And that was probably the most successful band I entered to after that band that I was kicked out from. I was playing with guys that were sort of like original musicians in New Zealand. Not original, but second to the original when, you know, the rock and roll hit New Zealand. And then the bunch after that, I was playing with them. So they were an era ahead of me, really. So I was lucky to be with them. Yeah.
So what got you into? I mean, was it the boarding school that got you into music, or were you into it from a kid? Or
yeah, but I played guitar then. I sang and played guitar at school, and then I guess somebody needed a drummer somewhere, and I said, "I'll give it a go." And yeah, you just in those days, there's no YouTube, there's no, you know, you listen to records and you go, "How the heck does he do that?" Okay, well, I'll try that. How does that sound? Close enough. And then you just learn. Yeah.
Were there any? I mean, it's going to sound terrible because we know each other through the music quiz, don't we?
Yeah.
I would struggle to name a successful New Zealand band. There must have been some, mustn't there? I mean,
oh my
what were
goodness.
the big bands when you were in it?
Heureusement. Yes, probably the most successful you'd know would be Split Enz, maybe. You've certainly heard of Crowded House.
Oh, yeah, Crowded House, yeah.
They came from Split Enz, or Neil Finn did, the singer.
I thought they were Australian.
One Australian, two Kiwis,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In Crowded House. Dragon were huge. My Sex was another band. There were a few around.
And did you have any chart success or anything like that in New Zealand?
We had recordings. Of course, they were on plastic in those days. And yes, we did some recording. We had to do recording to get jobs. You send them out to people and say, "Okay, we want to do that. We want to do that." And we got some quite successful jobs.
Yeah. You didn't have any charts like top 10 hits?
No.
Well, you're in good company, mate, because the Grateful Dead, it's amazing since I've done the quiz how many of the big bands everyone loves have never had a number one.
Grateful Dead, okay. Yeah.
Lots of them haven't.
There's probably a reason for that. Type of music.
You look, I think I might be wrong with this, but I think Black Sabbath only had one number one.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite extraordinary how many of the big bands.
It's not really pop music, though, is it? That's
no, but
the
they
problem.
They make their things out their tours and all the rest of it. Anyway, we digress.
We do.
So why did you stop at 16? Or no, one last question, we'll go back. Did you play with any famous bands along the way? Did you do any supports or anything like that? Musicians?
Yes. Probably no one you'd know because they're Aussie Kiwi bands. But no, you wouldn't know them.
And was it always the same sort of music you were playing? I mean, what kind of music was it you were into?
Oh, the original band was an originals band. Of course, you have to throw covers in there to keep the population happy. And then you throw your originals in as well and you get them to like them. And if they like them, you keep playing them. So we got quite successful doing that, but then our singer decided to leave. We got a completely different singer. Sadly, the singer was the guy that wrote the songs. So once he left, we kind of stopped making music, and then we just copied music. So you call it a covers band, basically.
Okay, so you were basically doing
covers band, yeah.
covers.
After that, yeah, we were originals to start with, and then they all became covers bands.
I'm going to hazard a guess because I noticed when we're doing the quiz, when you start doing your drumming, you like your rock and roll, blues, that kind of stuff.
For sure, I like everything. I've got a massive classical collection as well. Yeah. So anything that's musical. One thing I won't like, of course, is rap. I'm sorry if you like rap, guys, but no, I won't do rap.
I think the correct term is hip hop. But okay, so what age were you at the end of this 16 years?
Oh well, look, lots of things happened while I was in the band. Of course, 16 years is a long time. I got married in the middle of that.
To a who did you get married to?
Our names won't be mentioned, but
no, but not your wife now. So I'm getting at it. Do you mean?
Oh right, no, a different lady.
Okay. She was New Zealand or something.
Correct.
Okay, right. So you got married to a woman from New Zealand.
Correct. There was around 17 years worth there. That came to an end, as things do, and I spent a few years. Let's stick with the jobs before I get to that, because that's kind of important. Because after music, I was very fortunate enough to buy a house early in my life, and because it was something like 21,000 New Zealand dollars, which translated to pounds would have been, I don't know, divided by 3 then. Back then, it was pretty much £3 to the New Zealand dollar then, I think. So you can see how much that was. So yeah, very cheap, but of course that's quite a bit of money back in those days. This is the 70s we're talking about, I guess.
£7,000.
Yeah, 70s, 80s. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, and I wanted to sell that. And a guy came along, a real estate agent, and started talking to me, and I just said to him, I knew what I earned, and I thought that was pretty good for a musician. And then I asked him how much he earned, and he said, blah, blah. And I said, oh, really? How do I do that? He said, just come and talk to my manager and, see how you go. And that was it. 26 years later, I was an agent, owned my own real estate company, worked for other companies, managed other people's offices, did stuff like that for 26 years.
Nice. And were you doing any part-time band work at the time, or was that you completely out?
No, I was actually, funnily enough, and anyone from New Zealand that's listening to this, or specifically Christchurch, where I was, I will know that I was actually the manager of probably the most prestigious Harcourt's brand office in town, in Christchurch, which is called Fendleton.
Harcourt's brand? Harcourt's,
yeah.
What's that?
It's the name of a company.
Okay, all right.
Harcourt's. So I was running their flagship office, let's say. How I got there, I don't know. I just ended up there. And anyway, during that time, they were seen as, I was a certain person in the day. And then at night, I'd go and play in probably one of the most sleaziest pubs in town. So you got 2 lives going on here. You're seeing both ends of life. Yeah, fights in the back, pool balls flying here, there, and everywhere occasionally. Boys with their patches coming in off their bikes, Yeah. Difficult. Yeah.
But fun. Sounds fun.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Yeah. Duck! Something goes flying.
You were married during this time?
I was, yes. Yep.
But you said that came to an end?
It did. Yep. So, yes, then I spent some time alone. And as you do, you start looking for a partner. So I actually...
Did you have any kids, or was it...
No kids, yeah. Yeah, the wife in question was not interested in mucking up her body, let's put it that way. Yeah. So, and if she sees this, I'm sorry, but, that pretty much was the truth.
No one watches my channel, you have to worry about it.
Yeah, we're talking to nobody here. Where was I? Oh yes, entering the stage where I was looking for a partner. So, having come from Malaysia, I thought, everybody was saying to me, okay, the modern way to meet people, Don, is online. So, as with probably everybody at that time, I was a bit weary of that, thinking, everybody talks about, buying a wife from Thailand or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Mail order bride. That's
so
the word,
what time are we talking about now? What are we in? We're in the 2000s?
Well, it's 14 years ago, so whenever that was.
Okay, so about 2010.
210. Yeah, we're getting up to about there. And having been born in Malaysia, speak Malay.
Wow, didn't know that.
I started looking for a Malay girl, talked to a few, realized that in time the Muslim thing would become a problem, because one of us would have to, go. Whichever country you go to, you're going to change to that religion, aren't you? So I was not going to become a Muslim. I'm sorry, Muslims, but I wasn't. Quite happy where I am. So I then saw this little face, and I thought, oh, she looks very sweet. I'll start talking to her. And then I had to learn all about the Philippines.
Okay, were you on one of these like Asian Cupid or something?
It was called Asian dating. Asian dating.
So
yeah.
Basically Southeast Asia.
China everywhere, all those kind of things, yeah. And so I met this young lady from the Philippines and started learning. I knew nothing about the Philippines. The beauty was that she spoke English really well, which made it easy. They're Christian, so that made it easier. So I found out, okay, what do I have to do? I get over there. So I flew over here within 4 months or something, 3 to 4 months. And spent some time with her, got to know her, flew back to New Zealand, then of course brought her over. New Zealand laws are a little easier, I think, to get around, and all our immigration is a little easier than some countries, so it wasn't too hard. You did have to provide everything, like, all your conversations from WhatsApp or whatever app you're using. You have to put all those in thousands of pictures and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that's quite simple in terms of some other countries, especially at the moment. So yes, she came to New Zealand. We decided, yep, that was it. So obviously she had to come back. She was on a visitor's visa.
How long could she stay on a visitor's visa?
3, I think. 3 months. It might have been longer. My memory for that kind of thing, sorry, is terrible, but it was probably about that long. Then we went through the work visa thing, and we just worked through the visas, resident, permanent resident, and now my partner is a citizen of New Zealand.
So, right, okay, I didn't want to jump in and say, it's your wife we're talking about now, isn't it?
She is now my wife, yes.
Okay, so
yep. Nearly 14 years ago now.
Okay, so where did you first come in the Philippines, and where's she from?
She is from a town or a city, I guess, called Antipolo, which is Greater Manila.
Right.
So yes, there was the curse of having to go through Manila all the time to, from the airport. Yeah.
So what were your first impressions when you got to Manila compared to having been in Malaysia? Because we're going back a few years now.
A lot more untidy, a lot more people friendlier, probably. But yeah, structures and everything more untidy, not as kept, not as well kept. Especially Singapore. If you go to Singapore, like, everything's immaculate, because of their laws. But here things are a bit messy. I think you'd agree.
Yes. Certain aspects do leave a lot to be desired.
And yeah, my first impression, well, there was one trip I landed at the airport and we had to travel 23 kilometres to where we were staying. That took 5.5 hours.
Wow.
For the traffic. So you may as well have taken another flight in that time,
Yeah, crazy.
That's Manila traffic for you.
What were her impressions of Christchurch? Did you take her to Christchurch?
No. By that time I was living in the Bay of Islands in New Zealand, which is where we are now, which is way up the north of New Zealand, 3 hours north of Auckland, which is, our biggest city. And her first impression, she loves it. She just found being a Filipina a little bit isolated because, they all live communally here, and their sisters and the brothers and aunties and others, they all get together and all the time. A bit isolated because, it was just me. Although in time, her 3 children are also New Zealanders now.
Okay, so she already had kids when you met.
Yeah.
Because you've done it the other way around. You often, I don't know, the stereotype you think of is some guy takes a girl from the province to the big city. It's like, I thought, how would Ellen cope with London? I'm not planning to take her there.
Yeah.
But you've taken the girl from the big city to a remote island.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Well, Anna was a city girl. Antipolo is huge.
You've done it
taking her to a little.
Taking her from the city
to
the province.
Yeah, well, our population's about 7,000, so it's a small town.
So she had a lot to get used to.
It's a beautiful town, but yeah, there are there's about 100,000 or so Filipinos throughout New Zealand, and in our area, I think there's 100 or so.
It's interesting though, she liked it. So you came here 4 months, she came over to you for 4 months. Then you decided you were going to move back to New Zealand, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Did you have to get married for that first, or how did that
No,
work?
no. Partnership visa
Right.
to start with. Then once they spend time there, once they've been there 3 years, they can then apply for residency, permanent residency, and then citizenship after that.
And was she able to bring her kids over in that time, or did you have to?
Yeah, no, they were there.
And you could do that in a partnership as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Don't get that many Western countries these days.
No. Whether they came, they visited a couple of times, so they probably came first on tourist visas and spent some time with us. And then as the time, because they were still at school back then.
I say how old were they?
Yeah, they're now 30 odd, 30 to 33. So yes, they were at school at that time, or finishing school, ending school. So they had to do all of that and then come over.
And you were still, what were you doing now then? You can't have been working in, you retired? You can't have been working in the...
Yes, I was retired, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And what did she do? You said she started working. What was she doing?
Anna?
Yeah.
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
She started as a baker's assistant. She's very good with cakes and icing and that kind of thing. She now works just part-time in one of our supermarkets, both in the bakery and also doing the online shopping, which you probably have in England. I don't know. You ring in and order all your stuff and somebody gets it all for you and then they send it to you.
Yeah, we've got online shopping.
Yeah. So online shopping as well, yeah. She enjoys it. It gives her something to do. Gives us some money to send home or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
The kids aren't over there now, are they? They've got six. Are they in New Zealand or are they here?
They're in New Zealand. Yep, they're in New Zealand. Yeah.
Like, settled.
Yep, the boy's very high in IT. One of the girls is a personal lender in a bank, which means she does loans and things. And the other one's just finished a job with a public trust company where she did trusts and other things for people. And she'll be here actually next week. That one. She's coming over to check out the Philippines again and see what it might offer in terms of work and a job. She has an Italian boyfriend. He'll be coming too.
Very good. I don't want to say that. Yeah. So
Bellissimo.
The place we're in now, your what do you call it? Condominium. We call them apartments, but they call them condos over here.
Correct. Yeah.
When did you buy that then? I mean, because have you actually ever lived in the Philippines? Were you always doing like 6 months on, like kind of moving between the two?
6 months. 6 months was the idea. Yeah. Sometimes it's been shorter. Sometimes I've had it 3 years. This unit,
you
3
bought
years.
This 3 years ago.
I bought this 3 years ago. Yeah. It's the only condominium in Dumaguete, which is the town we're in. Which I guess people know you're from Dumaguete. Maybe do they?
Well, I'm not originally from Dumaguete.
Well, you know what I mean.
I'm just being pedantic.
You're
in the search for humour. What brought you to Dumaguete? She's not from Dumaguete.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, we looked around in Manila and decided no, yuck. Well, Antipolo actually. Antipolo is it's on a hill. So it's cooler and it's got a bit of breeze and it doesn't flood because people might not realise, but Manila has a very bad flooding problem. And sort of some of the lowlands there, your house can fill up with a bit of water every now and then, so you don't really want to be down there. So this was up on the hill. Everybody realised that from Manila, moved up there, prices went nuts. So I thought, nah, Manila's not the place. So we ended up looking in Pampanga, which is another province in Angeles City. And what drew us there was one of these videos where guys were talking about Clark, the airbase, and what was going to happen with New Clark or New Angeles or whatever they're calling it. I've forgotten the name they're going to call it, but that's going to be a very modern city on the side of Angeles City that's currently there. And Clark Air Base is beautiful because it was an air base. The streets are really wide, the grasses are all beautiful, the houses are all very nice, the condos and everything, but you never own the land there if you buy there. So you, not you do here either, but in terms of a house or anything, you wouldn't own the land. It's just a lease situation. Somebody we met said, before you buy here, because we found a beautiful house there, wonderfully finished, just exactly what we needed, and we were just about to buy it. And we met these people, and they said, well, before you do, you really should look around, a bit more. And there's this place called Dumageddon. Go down and have a look down there. So we came down here, we had a look, fell in love. Just, this is way more laid back, easy, no traffic lights. Well, there is one now, but there were no traffic lights then. Lots of expats to meet and talk to. Whereas in Pampanga, we sort of met nobody. Probably would have in time, but here, first day, just going to the coffee lounge like that, sit down and start talking to a whole lot of people, and you realize there's a massive community of expats here from Australia, New Zealand, America, England, as you know.
Yeah, it always amazes me. I often get comments saying, why are we living in Dumageddon? It's a terrible place. But people here don't think so. We're all quite happy.
It's not perfect. Of course not.
No, it's not.
But it's easy. It's just easy. And, you enjoy the promenade. You enjoy so many coffee lounges, so many restaurants. I guess that's the same everywhere. But
don't listen, man. He spends his evenings in bars. He's talking about coffee shops. Never seen him in a coffee shop.
I spend my days in coffee shops and my evenings in bars, restaurant bars. Yeah, restaurant bars.
But it's interesting because I really like living in Dumageddon now, but it took me 16 months to realise that it was a real struggle the first few months. But you fell in love with it straight away. I suppose you'd been gauging it obviously against other places in the Philippines.
Well, we knew obviously Manila, Antipolo, then we saw Pampanga, and we've been way up to the north of the Philippines. We've been to all the tourist traps prior to buying here, or prior to that. I've been coming here for 13 years, don't forget, so on and off. So we've pretty much done everything you're supposed to do in the Philippines. And when we came here, we just realized this had the feel that was right for us. So, yeah.
So you bought a condo in the only condominium complex?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You've got a choice of one. So, and then you've got to wait, until... Because we've seen a lot of apartments in here prior to buying, and then just finding the right one. This is on the end of a row, so we get extra window, all that kind of thing.
You've got a nice
you pick the right one. Yeah.
So and that was all quite easy to do, was it? Buying a condo, because it's not land and that.
Correct. So I can own it outright. Not that I do, but if I wanted to, or anyone wanted to, you can own a condo as long as there is. I think it's 70% or 60 or 70% Filipino ownership. 40 or 30, whatever it is, can be foreign owned. Up to 92 square meters, I think it is. Anything bigger than that, then you can't. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I thought you had been in the Philippines a lot longer. Because a lot of people we know, we go around with one mentioning names have been in like 20, 25 years, whatever. I thought you were the same. In reality, it's only the last 3 years that you've been. So you put it together, you've probably only been in like 2 years.
Well, other than COVID, we were here every year.
Yeah.
For 14 years,
Okay. Yeah. Well, we didn't mention it. I thought you'd done the 4 months or so. All right, you've been here a lot longer. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Has it changed a lot in that time?
Oh, it's got way more expensive. Hugely more expensive. Used to be so cheap. If I'm allowed to talk about the negatives of the Philippines.
Of course you can. Talk.
The negatives of the Philippines are...
a 3-hour interview now.
Oh, yeah. Where do we start? Things are expensive here. They're cheap for foreigners. But in terms of what they used to be and compared to what you can get in other countries, like, I guess, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, the Philippines is relatively expensive, especially with accommodation, not buying so much, but leasing or renting. Cars are very expensive. Technology is expensive. Food is not. Going out is not. So you kind of balance things out. Electricity, everything's a monopoly, so you're paying through the nose for that too. They have a way of cornering markets here, don't they?
Yeah. Okay.
We own it, you pay. Yeah.
So it all levers out. I mean, I've lived in Cambodia, I've lived in Thailand, I've lived here now. And certain things are more expensive, certain things are cheaper.
Yeah.
It's all worked out basically the same at the end of the
I guess.
Of the month.
Yeah.
But what about the infrastructure? I mean, I'm guessing I might be wrong because you were like here 14 years ago. That must have been worse then. Was it just stayed the same? Was it got worse? Was it improved?
Well, I guess as most people would tell you, from the Philippines when Duterte was the president, things got better. Corruption dropped, illegal drug trade, all that kind of stuff all dropped. Then, of course, he retired and this new guy's in. And things have kind of slipped back a bit again.
Think.
Yeah.
I've never been in while Duterte was in power, so I'll take your word for that.
Yeah. Filipinos in general love him and would want him back, but and now of course he's in The Hague and waiting for his trial and everything because of human rights, disposing of people, shall we call it, undesirables.
Not to be encouraged. There you go. So, are there any more negatives you would like to espouse?
No, let's leave it there.
But on the whole, I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm guessing for you the positives outweigh the negatives, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Or am I wrong in that sense?
Well, why it suits us is, and I guess we're lucky enough to do it, is that we can do the New Zealand summer and then we can get out of there when, the freeze hits, which we don't even have where I live anyway, but it's, it's still cold and wet. So we come here, which is actually, when we come here is the monsoon season, which is now. But you don't really notice it, do you? I can't really say that it puts you out because it rains, it goes, sun comes out.
Yeah.
Here in here, why this suits so much is you can lock and leave. It's a room. You lock the door, you're gone. What's here is we've got a gymnasium, we've got a massive swimming pool out there. It's good for keeping yourself fit. Walk out the door and you've got a range of probably 6 restaurants within a kilometre.
And some good ones as well.
Yeah, very good ones. Straight across the road, there's a coffee lounge. Just down the road, there's another coffee lounge. 200 yards that way, there's another coffee lounge. There's a mall right behind us here. Forgot about the mall.
So without prying, then you're 6 months in. That's not a pension thing. It's not like, as I know, certain countries you've got to go back for so many months a year. Is that part of it, or is that nothing to do with it?
Very good question. In New Zealand, for some reason, we have a rule where you can only leave the country for 6 months, and then, as I understand it, your pension stops. I've never really tested that. Maybe they reduce it over time. The longer you're away, I'm not sure, or they means to. I don't know what they do, but the rule that the first thing you read is if you're out of the country for more than 6 months, your pension will stop.
Well, I have interviewed a couple of people from New Zealand. We discussed that. So when we finished here, I can fill you in on what I've been told about.
Okay, good, yeah.
So taking the potential pension issue out of it, how do you envisage your future going? Is your plan to just keep being like a nomad between the two countries, or do you plan to move here at some stage in the end, or do you not think that far ahead?
Yeah, no, we've thought of all that. It's getting to the stage where, unfortunately, New Zealand is politically and economically struggling, and I don't think that's unique to New Zealand. I think, a lot of countries are in that position. So the general mood and feeling in the Philippines is way less stressful and depressing than being in New Zealand. Now, that's for me. I can't say that's for all New Zealanders. That's just for me. Anna would like to be back here, of course, because she's got family here and she can just fly up to Manila and see them when she wants to. So, yes, I would imagine that fairly soon we'll probably sell up assets in New Zealand and maybe come here, maybe keep one there so that I can keep going backwards and forwards, one house, go backwards and forwards and come here.
Right, well, that's very interesting, Don. I hope things pan out for you. But when are you off back next then?
When I'm off?
Yeah, you say October?
Yep, next month, one more month. Yeah.
And how long will that be for? The whole 6 months, or?
Well, that's what I have to find out. It's a big decision time this year. What's it going to be? 2026 it'll be by then. So that year we'll decide whether we do come here or we just keep doing the 6 month thing. I want to see how our children pan out, get on, see what they want to do. Because, as you do, I guess they're not my children, but they are now, definitely. And they're not by blood, but they're my children now, yeah. You help them financially. So, there are things I need to do for them or want to do for them. We'll see what happens. But for now, yeah, we'll definitely be back, but I'm not sure if that's going to be permanent or for another 6 months. Yeah.
Nobody ever knows what the future holds.
Nope.
Well, whatever you decide, I wish you the best of luck. Is there anything else you would like to say before we end up the interview?
No, that's fine. I hope it's all made sense. Hope I haven't spoken too fast, because we tend to do that in New
I
Zealand.
never really thought you was being very interesting, but actually you are.
Maybe I like to stay quiet for a reason, Simon.
No, it's been a great interview, mate. I've learned a lot about you that I did not know. I had no idea you could speak Malay. I had no idea you'd been a Malay.
Ya, saya boleh cakap Melayu. Saya boleh cakap Melayu. Sikit-sikit.
Katod make our day. Yeah, well, thanks a lot, Don. It's been great sitting down and having a chat. We really appreciate that you shared your story with us.
Yeah, I hope it's interesting. I mean, yeah.
No, it was, mate. It was very interesting. Yeah. You are a man of many talents. Anyway, we'll end it now. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, why the hell not? You'll make an old man very happy. But whether you do, whether you don't, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe and be lucky.